Shalom and good day all, this is Tehillim29 back again for another Super Sons Fortress of Attitude comic review. And in this comic review, I'll be reviewing, of course, something related to our Super Son, one of the Super Sons, Damian Wayne, Robin, issue 14. And as you can see here, I have the main trade dress cover, along with the variants. So jumping into first things first, do these covers in any way, shape or form connect to something that's happening inside of a story? Well, all minus one, but I've got my own personal rating on that one. So moving forward, for the first cover, which is the main trade dress, I gave an 8 out of 10. For the next one that you see on the right, I gave an 8.5 out of 10. For the Dexter Soy cover, even though this isn't in any way connected in relation to the story, I did give it a 9 out of 10 because I actually like the scene and I actually enjoy what's happening there with between Connor and Damian. And last but not least, an 8.5 for that last 1.25 cover. I'll now fix things up so I can start to show you some of the internal art and in relation to the story, and we'll get to see some of the things that are happening story-wise. So, jumping into some of the art around the beginning of the story, as you can see here, I've actually skipped quite a lot of the early pages, and I'm somewhat around the middle of the middle. And as you can see here, we've got Ghostmaker going up against Angel Breaker. Personally, I hope both the characters die. Of course, we've got Damian Wayne, who's also running to get to his mother. And as things go on, he also learns about the death of Ravager. Now, going on to the next page, in relation to this, I've seen people have a bit of a rant about this little situation, but what they're actually missing here is what actually happens on the previous page, and that is Damien is also in a race to get to his mother. So yeah, okay, this has happened, but he still needs to get to his mother because that was his motive at the time. Right, this is a little bit before it, and of course you see Damien make reference to his mother, and this is his motivation. His motivation is to get to his mother in time so that she's not knocked off by Slade. Now, as we jump a little bit past the middle here, before we reach the end, we have the fight between Talia and Slade until she gets the killing blow. And finally, moving towards the end, to which we learn that the villain is Geoforce. So for the internal art, I gave it an 8.5 out of 10. Now it's time to move in relation to the story. Did we get any comic references? Well, to those who have been following Joshua Williamson in some of the work that he's doing in DC Comics, with this run, he is actually remembering to add comic references. And to those who was reading through his Infinite Frontier, he included it there too, as well as days, which is really good, I must admit. So The comic references we got were Batman 123 and Deathstroke issue 9. So the previous issue, or the latest issue of Deathstroke, which by the time this goes up has already been reviewed and gone up on the channel. The next area is time. We didn't get any indication of time. Moving into the location, we had in Nepal at Nanda Parbat, to which Talia was at, and they were fighting with the Secret Society of Villains after what had happened there. And of course there was the Ghost Stream playing, which was quite interesting, and some interesting words said from Ghostmaker himself after Damien had jumped out. Free fallen, literally. Showing he's got more bloody guts than Batman. Well, he did do that at the beginning of this run, I must point that out. And he's doing it again? Batman, I think you've got yourself some competition. Moving into the cast of characters, we had Batman, we had Damian Wayne Robin, we of course had Batman Inc. or Batman Incorporated, the Secret Society, we had Deathstroke, Ravager, Talia, Angel Breaker, and last but not least, Geoforce. The overall story I gave an 8 out of 10. Well, by the time I think next week comes up for the next comic book review that's in relation to this particular run, I'm going to have some things to say in relation to how the story ended. So we could end up having a slightly longer video. Well, until then, thanks again for dropping by the Super Sons Fortress of Attitude, as you are welcome here, especially if you enjoy the Super Sons and Super Sons readers alike. Whether you find your Super Sons in manga, in other trades, even though this Super Sons is mainly centered on the DC Comics Super Sons. We'll see you again at Super Sons Fortress of Attitude.